You know what time it is. Welcome to Great Table Talk. Childhood friends coming together to make a difference in our everyday community. Enjoy this week's episode. Well, like I said, welcome to Great Table Talk. Thank you, ladies. I would like you to know when I came in, Michelle Obama is my gold friend in my head. A couple of them was. You kind of got a lot of them, but I like that. You said gold, what is it, gold friends? Yes. I like that, gold friend. I'm going to hashtag that later, just to let you know. When you hashtag it, you're going to see me, gold friend. I'll tag you. This is one of the things that I want to begin to ask. Let's talk about your purpose pursuit. And I want you all to answer it if you can in a couple seconds. What does it mean to you to write your own permission slip?
Oh, wow.
I'll repeat.
So go for it.
Oh.
Don't worry about anybody else.
Go for
yourself.
All right. Y'all heard what she said in the back? Hey, y'all hear? Okay. And I got the mics just in case y'all can, so to make sure that you don't got to speak directly into it. I just want to make sure I get your voices. Okay.
I would add to be your own encourager. Sometimes we look for others to encourage our dreams and the things that we want to do, and they don't see the vision that you see for yourself. And sometimes you just have to encourage yourself.
Yes. Anybody else want to answer that?
I think you have to be unapologetic. So a lot of times we make decisions for other people, what are other people going to be comfortable with, making sure our loved ones are taken care of, making sure our spouses are taken care of, and that fits. You have to sometimes go for it and be unapologetic that you are pursuing the things that you want to pursue.
And I like to add, it's okay to make mistakes.
Yes.
It happens. What's the worst that can happen? Somebody tell you no, a loan denied. I mean, that's the worst. Once you entertain the worst that can happen, take a deep breath and go for it, like she said. Thank you, Taylor. Okay, here's another question. What has helped you to maintain consistency during the pursuit of your passion and purpose? I want to aim for Telly first, because I've been knowing Telly for years, and unfortunately we met each other in boxing class.
This boxing class.
It's amazing what you meet boxing class. Y'all don't understand. The reason my kids are alive today is because of that class. She's one of the most. I've seen her passion. I've seen her sincerity. I've seen her dedication. And I'm proud of you, sis. I must say, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, you need to stop working out too much. But answer that question for me. I'll ask it again. Okay. What has helped you to maintain consistency during the pursuit of your passion and purpose?
I think just simply put, God. Like knowing, just kind of what I talked about in the beginning, knowing that God has purposed me. And I know that distractions do come. Life will throw curveballs. It's having that connection with God and knowing that, okay, He has a purpose. I have to remain consistent on this path. And that's, for me, that's what it is. Yeah. Also, just adding to that, I try to keep a very definite schedule. So like Cash was saying, early in the morning, I'm up. That 4 o'clock wake up and just kind of knocking it out with the devotionals, working out, and just keeping that too. Because if not, if you don't set the schedule, a lot of times we have a schedule, but we don't really schedule the priorities, as opposed to, we want to just have the schedule and it can be all chaotic. So I would say schedule your priorities and start kind of with day to day what that would look like too. But first and foremost, God.
Anyone else?
And I was going to add that what helps me is having a schedule. I have a color-coded schedule that not only can I see, but my husband can see, as well as my office manager. So everyone knows if it's important, it's on my schedule. If it's not on my schedule, it's not important to me.
Finding your balance. I am a mother of 5.
Oh.
And a wife. And a wife. So basically, finding balance. And I'm gonna go off of Telly. I'm doing music. The vision board really helped me. We met 2 years ago, and I didn't know where I was going. I was stuck, stagnant, didn't know. So she came along and she told me, you gotta align not only just yourself with God, your husband, your kids, your life, just everything. So it's all about balance. You have to have balance. So, you know, just having that vision and having someone to come through and just say, okay, look, this is what it is, this is what it's going to be, and we just move forward. So just balance, vision, God, you're going to be good.
And I kind of, I want to take that to the next phase of questions. You kind of got ahead of me. Look at God. Speaking of balance, in what areas would you women find that is challenging for you, that you may have to throw a flag and request for some assistance? Like, I need help. You know, because sometimes we superwoman, we got it. We're a wife, we're a mom, we're an employer or employee. To throw the flag on the plate. So, again, I ask, what areas, I should say, let me rephrase that question. At what time do you think it's okay to request assistance?
I think it's always okay. I think that's where the breakdown happens, is when we become overwhelmed and it's like late in the game when we request support. I also think I have a granny nanny. She's in the room over there. She's a great grandmother and she helps a whole lot. But you have to also make your partner equal. Like, you have to hold them responsible as well too.
That's good. How many women can agree that you hold a lot of things to kind of last minute, and by the time your husband or your kids hit the head, like, look now, I'm about sick of you, you ungrateful? You get what I'm saying? I was reliving my.
That's how it is.
I've done better now. I've done better. I'm 1 year into this. I'm doing better. I'm taking one day at a time. How can a working mom make life easier for both her and her family? That kind of ties into the, like, not the color code. I mean, you kind of more advanced than me. I live off my calendar, but the color code is kind of strong. I may need to get with you at the end of this conference. The question was, how can a working mom make life easier for both her and the family?
I would just say remaining flexible in that sometimes you're going to get things that are unexpected. So being able to adjust and make that adjustment. Even though we have a scheduled plan, sometimes God may take us in a different direction. So just remaining flexible in that and trying to make sure that you handle every situation.
Yes.
Making sure that we take care of ourselves first though. Yeah.
You always have to have an ace in the hole too. So like when things pop up, when the unexpected happens, like who can you call on? What are you gonna do? So having those people that may not be there every single day, all the time, but you know if you call them, and you need them, then they'll be there.
Yeah. My cousin is one of those people. Thank you, Doc.
That she is awesome.
Okay, so let's talk about growth mindset and personal development.
Ooh, yeah.
How can I increase my growth mindset?
Everybody look down here like, for me, I do believe first, reading is one of the go-tos, you know, whether you're physically reading the book or just listening to it too. I firmly believe in that too. I always say too that the first 20 minutes of your day sets the tone for the rest of your day.
Yeah.
So something that I used to do a lot of, and many people have heard me say this in different areas that I've been in, that I used to grab the phone a lot and just check emails or start checking, you know, social media, of course. And when you have a business, that's one of the things you always want to check. And if something's not right with that text, with that email, or with that social media, it's going to send the rest of your day just kind of on a spiral. So what I had to do was start shifting to more productive activities in the morning. So for me, it is that devotional time with God, and then exercising if I get to it. But that's kind of where I need to be in that mindset, and then everything else follows along. So having a really healthy morning routine, I would say, is really, really key to that.
Very good. Anyone else want to tag in?
As it relates to personal development, I've been told that I was addicted to training, but we can't ever have enough training on whatever area it is. If you want to know something about it, just seek those different trainings, and that may help even for people who don't know what their purpose is. It can kind of help guide you to that direction. The more that you know, we can't get enough of information, right? So the more that we know, the better that we get, and we can actually apply, which is important. It's not good enough just to have the information, but to apply the information that we have.
Right. And I think you, somebody can say something.
I just want to say, like, a lot of times we think it's a skill thing or
Can y'all hear
knowledge thing.
Okay.
But it's actually a belief thing. So getting to a place where you can affirm yourself. I can do this. I have the ability to achieve it. I can do it. So get into that place.
Yeah. If by any chance that y'all can't hear, y'all can hear any of us, let us know. But y'all continue to, y'all can eat y'all lunch, continue to how much time I got, Sister Telly? Since y'all made it church up here, how much time I got?
Well, about, let's see where you at. You got enough time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going until 1:10.
Okay, so I can sing my solo the next
We need that.
All right, I want to talk about, we hear a lot about affirming yourself. You may have some people that are saying to themselves like, where do I begin? Reading the Bible is one thing. You get what I'm saying? I can't understand this New King James Version. Where do I begin?
There you go.
What you saying?
Get the message translation.
Get the message translation. Like, yeah, all right. He comes out with it. He walked in. Bam. So I guess affirming yourself have to come with, like you said, begin to. They have, like she said, what's the book again?
The 4 Agreements?
4 Agreements. Like, start there. Find some, in the Bible app, they have some affirmative things that you can find, and you can just repeat those things to yourself. And then after you get that in your head long enough, you'll start spewing it out. Y'all know how we are when it comes to scripture. Somebody can start off with, taste and see that
The Lord
is good. See what I'm saying? Yeah. You heard that so many times. You know, I was glad when they said it to me.
Let us go into the house of the Lord.
I was 5 years in the house of the Lord. So what I'm saying is that's the same thing as affirmation is. If you don't know how, just start with reading some things. Begin to reciting those things until you get it on the inside of you. All right?
I was going to just add something.
Go ahead.
A lot of times we are good with saying what we don't want. Say what it is that we want.
Right.
Right. Speak that.
Find that and say what it is that you want. You are beautiful. You are good enough. And say those things to yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself those things. And that is helpful as well.
Oh, I was just gonna say the things that recognizing the things that people tell you that are good about yourself, and when you hear someone say, "Oh, you're so helpful all the time," that's something you can say to yourself. I am a helpful person. I do have good ideas. I am good at listening to other people, and those are ways to affirm yourself in things that you are already good at, but not knowing that you have that confidence.
Very good. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a very good one. That is a very good one. I am a good cook.
Go ahead and speak that. I think too, it's important for us to really challenge our belief systems too, because I always talk about writing your own permission slip, and that's kind of what I always talk to women about, writing your own permission slip. But when you think about it, when you grew up, you were told what? Ask for what you want, right? And ask permission for what you want. So if you don't change that and challenge that growing up, you will constantly think, I need to ask for what I want, when now you don't have to. You can set the tone and set the pulse for it. So we really do have to start challenging our belief systems too. What do I believe at the core of who I am? What has my mom, my dad, whoever taught me that I'm carrying with me that's really baggage that they've gathered from their parents that's really not helpful for me. So really challenging those belief systems that's holding you hostage. Yeah.
That's very, very good. And I was going to harp on that because that's so important. Often, sometimes, although Nana was good people and she loved and fed us and she took care of us, sometimes the way that she was kind of closed-minded on some things, y'all don't have to receive that for your own life. Right. You get what I'm saying? It's okay. I had a family that said, don't you go up the country. When I went to Uganda, they had a big rebel. They was, killing people, but they do that everywhere. And they had a meeting with me and told me not to go to Uganda. They had a meeting to set me down. I said, y'all better leave me alone. But you get what I'm saying? So challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to think outside the box. All right? Let's talk about faith and purpose. Well, y'all been talking about faith all day. Well, you can tell folks that go to church. It started off, I was up here doing this early, and I came in and I said, is that the Lord? Wait a Oh my gosh. Okay. People invest time and energy into developing their career. How many of you can agree? Their bodies and relationships. But how often we neglect the spiritual dimension of our lives? How do you actively pursue spiritual growth? I think we kind of answered that earlier, but I just want to, how do you actively pursue spiritual growth? I want somebody in the audience. Can I get somebody?
Yes.
How do you actively pursue spiritual growth? Alana, did you?
First, you have to want to spiritually grow.
Okay. That's right.
I mean, you have to first accept who the creator is. You know, what is it that you're seeking, and where can you find it? It's not in man.
Right.
It's a being far greater than us. You know, and you have to seek that. Something greater than yourself. Something greater than what you seek, your eyes see.
And how do you personally go about that?
First, I have to shut my mind off to the things that's around me. I have to allow him in, you know. And once I do that, then I do what you say. I go to a verse in the Bible, and I recite it until it becomes, it just spewing out of me, you know. And the Holy Spirit fills me. And right now, he's touching me and agreeing with me.
Good. Because the Bible said, I have been young and I have been old, and I've never seen or a seed. Boy, I tell you, look at y'all in the church. I'm so sorry. I'm a ball of energy, by the way.
Really?
Never noticed. Okay. Do you find that faith and spiritual values play a role in your work, your entire day, and your whole perspective on life?
Yes. It's involved in every aspect, everything I do. So I was talking about self-care and how that's intentional. Actually, seeking God is intentional. Reading your Bible, having that verse in the morning. Maybe that should be the first thing that you try doing in the morning, as opposed to social media, right? Or even if you read the verse, then put it on social media. But you're still just spending that time with Him. He's not just there for when we need something. Give Him that, that praise and the glory and the honor for all the things, and just waking you up in the morning, right? Being able to breathe is important. So yeah.
And you don't gotta be as deep, because some people just walk in clutching their purse, talking about, I'm blessed in the Holy Spirit.
Right.
I was reading this verse in Romans.
You know when your faith is tested and you don't kill a person?
Exactly. Right.
I want to add something to that too. I was, like I said, I got back to when I was stuck and stagnant with my business, and God spoke to me, and it was 2 Kings 4, and it was about the woman with the olive oil. And she had to go fill up the jars of the olive oil, to help pay her debt and this, that, and the other. And I started off with one item, and it was eczema cream. I now hold 86 items because I kept filling.
That's right.
So
That's right.
You just keep filling until your cup is running over.
That's right.
And then when it run over, you get you another cup.
That's right.
So that's how it goes.
That's right. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And
I'd like to add too that I often remind myself that God has given me the power to pursue the things that I want through the gift of the Holy Spirit that lives inside of me. And I think we often forget that all we have to do is just ask the Holy Spirit to teach us, to be our guide, to be our comforter, to reveal the things that we need to know so that we can excel in the areas of our life that we are pursuing.
Right. Yeah. And be still long enough to hear.
Right.
Yes.
Great silence.
Yeah, sometimes you can be still. My husband said that to me, bothered me. He said, don't just talk about we're talking about relationships. Let me tell you about this again. He said, you're good people, but sometimes you just talk too much. Can y'all believe he said that to me? Well, just be still. I said, I didn't know what to say. I just was still. But sometimes you just gotta be still. All right. Anyone got a question for the panel?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. I'm
gonna ask a question.
Yeah.
Why did all of you show up today?
That's a good one. My penny.
Because I came to not only share my testimony, but somebody out here, whenever I speak, they gonna grasp what I'm saying, because they're going through it, because we all go through it.
Yeah.
So I'm here because God let me here. He put me in connection with Telly to be here, and these other 3 women up here as well. So that's why.
So every year I pick a word or a phrase. A word or a phrase. Last year was about being bold and being intentional. And this year it's about pouring in and leaning in. And so for me, I always want to be in the mindset and in the spirit as God wants me to come. But for this event, it's about pouring in and leaning in. Meaning cultivating relationships with women that just we can feed off of each other's vibe. And this is the perfect space for that too. And so that's kind of what I want to do, and that's what 2019 is about for me. Pour in and lean in. Lean into God, lean into his people, pour into his people. Certainly, let God use me in the manner that he will have me, will want me to be. Use them. So that's kind of where I am today. And so that's a good question.
Yeah, very good.
That's a good question.
I would say that I'm here to serve, right, to give something, but I'm also here to learn. I'm here to learn. So, and I've learned so much just sitting here with these ladies and the information. And I'll just say right now, practice the information. It's great to have it, but we got to put it into practice. That's how we get better. So, yeah.
So, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm here because Telly asked me to be here.
Well, yes.
And that's like the reason, I think you meet people for a reason, and when she contacted me, someone had canceled, and I said, oh, I definitely will be there to support you and to support your event. And that's what we have to do.
Right.
When you call people and you reach out to people, and there are a few people that I've been blessed to have as a part of my life. I can call and ask for anything, and when people are in need and it's a something that you support and something that you believe, you show up for them, especially when the messaging and the vision is very similar to what you believe.
And before even Renika, let me tell you about her. 'Cause she's downplaying and she's very modest, but when I first was sitting at a table with her, she looked at me and she said, I'm gonna put you in a room with some people. She didn't know me and she didn't owe me anything. I was trying to connect with her and see how my business could support her mission. She looked at me and said, I'm gonna put you in a room with some folks. She invited me to an event that she had, and they were honoring her and pouring into her, and before she could even sit down, she grabbed my hand and said, you need to talk to this person, and this person. Right now, you need to talk to them, and you need to sit next to this person right here so they can pour into you and y'all can connect. That's the type of woman this is, you know what I mean, who she is, that it's all about, it's never self-fulfilling, it's about how both of us can rise. And so she's being very modest, but she is that woman. Right. She is that woman.
And that's important. And why are you here?
I'm here to empower other women that look like me, that have visions as well. I know that God has given me the gift to have knowledge that people yearn, and they're not sure where to go get that knowledge. So I wanted to be approachable and present, and I like to be in a space with people like Telly, where we share the same values and vision.
Yes.
And she's also, she gonna never mind. She gonna do what she gotta do. Never mind.
I can't get to sing her song. One of the things that I want to give you all an opportunity to talk about, we hear, as women here, we're hearing kind of the mid-rise. You get what I'm saying? So when we first start, we don't hear so much about that. I want to talk about some of your struggles, because one of the things that I've noticed as being a professional myself, I'm professional. Sometimes, no. Is sometimes in your growth.
Yes.
One of the things that I want you to tell me, one of the things that you've learned during your growth, whether it has been a business partner backing out on you, whether it has been someone that said they have you and they're going to support you and they didn't show up and you had a room of 2 people. You get what I'm saying? I want to hear a quick story, 30 seconds or less, because y'all know y'all gave me a limited time.
You just say people come to have church.
Oh, I don't know what you come to. I come to
I have one. I had a business partner who we were supposed to open up this shop together, and we reached out to many different people, but when it seemed as though I was the one doing the marketing and getting out there, and everybody liked Shawnee because I was just like you, always all over the place having fun. Yeah, that's okay, in a good way. But she didn't take that same energy. She took it as if I was trying to outshine her, and that's not the case. I'm turning you. I'm turning you on. I'm shining your light with me. Come on, come with me.
Let's
like
all
you
come
said,
with me.
come on,
Yeah.
let's go together. But she didn't, take that same energy. And it went from starting it to backing out to now here I am by myself. I walk alone. I'm the only child. It didn't matter to me. I started it. And
How did you deal with that disappointment?
I prayed about it.
You ain't want to cuss.
I'm about to tell you, I cussed out. I did. I ain't gonna lie. I did because we had built so much.
Right.
But I did curse out. But after I cursed out, I prayed. I'm being honest with y'all. I did. Yeah. I did, and then after that, my husband said, just get up.
Yeah.
Come on, babe, let's go.
Right.
You can do it. And with that man there, with who I have, I'm blessed away.
All right.
I'm gone.
He ain't taking me still?
No. Sometimes. Yeah. So no, that's my story. So yeah.
Good.
I think for me, I had to learn earlier. I'm really new at this. My business hasn't even hit 2 years yet, so I'm probably the little rookie up here. But what I had to learn too is to give a strong no. And I think when I first started, I wanted to say yes to everything because I felt like, oh God, if I don't say yes, then
I missed that.
I had to really get comfortable with some strong no's and really get back focused on what the mission was. Like, it ain't to serve everybody.
Right.
And I know that's hard, but sometimes you're not going to be able to serve everybody, and what you have to offer may not serve everybody well. They may need to, be with somebody else. And so I had to really look at that and look at what the purpose was and say, okay, there are going to be some times I need to say no. Me, growing up, I'm a people pleaser. And so I want to make sure that everybody is good and you come before me, I put myself on the back burner. If you need me, I'm going to be there. But it was wearing thin on me and my family and everything about my business. So having some strong no's is very helpful because a strong no to them is an even stronger yes to yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
How many of y'all can identify with these two stories so far? Oh yeah.
She was just rocking.
Taking it in.
Taking it in.
Okay.
So I would say the thing that I had to learn was not to just give everything away. I had to. I want to make money, right? Right. So not just giving everything away. I found myself for the most part initially just kind of giving, and I'm a giver. I have a heart, and I have a heart for people. So, you hear these stories and you want to help, but at the same time, you have, in order to run a business, you have to, run it in decency and order. You have to, have that. You have a section where you're gonna, promote and you're gonna give, but at the same time, you need to get paid for the services and knowing your value, knowing your worth. I think is important as well.
Yeah.
So I want to say this before I forget, because I wanted to bring a sign up sheet. This summer I'm going to be doing a mentorship program for young ladies, and I'm looking for mentors for these mentees. So visit my table to sign up. It's going to be just a sheet of paper because I didn't bring a sign-in sheet. But that's one of the things I want to say before I don't have the opportunity. I think my lesson that I've learned has been God's vision and God's plan for you is bigger and greater than what you ever planned for yourself. When I started my business, it was after a horrible experience being in a school that you absolutely love. You love the people, you love your staff. The administration was not in support of a lot of things that I was doing. So as I walked away from that, I said, I want to do my own thing. I want to have my own business. I just want to work with a few little schools, do my thing. And I've been all over the country in the last year. Like, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to work with a few little schools, be able to pick my kids up from school when I wanted to, and have some flexibility. But the vision and the plan and the purpose that God had for your life is so much bigger, so much greater than what you can even conceptualize.
That's real. That's good.
Yeah. So stop cheating yourself.
Stop cheating yourself.
Do you mind repeating the question?
I forgot what the
What have you learned?
What have I
One of the
learned?
things, one of the one things that you've learned during your journey.
To become a student of your trade.
Yes.
And see, that's what,
lesson.
and that's my phrase for the year.
Yeah, become a student of your trade. Someone earlier mentioned while they were speaking that, I think it was you, and you said if you're the only one if you're the only one that looks like you in your office or in your industry, you know, it's your responsibility to look back to help someone else after you've paved the way.
Yes.
In 11 years, I started my career 11 years ago, and at the time, I was the only black female advisor for the state of Louisiana for Northwestern Mutual.
Wow.
And now that I think about it, today I'm still the only one as well. However, there's been great strides in their efforts, but I've also known that in order for me to differentiate myself in such a predominantly white male industry, I knew that I had to become a student of my trade quickly, so that people can look beyond my race and gender and recognize my excellence.
Yes.
Go ahead. You better recognize my excellence. I'm gonna have to switch out my phrase for the year. My word for the year is intentional, and my phrase is being a student. Forever being a student. Like, I love to learn.
Yeah.
Can y'all guess what I do for a living? I want y'all to guess. Don't guess the wrong thing. I do talk. No, I don't. I don't talk for a living. That's why I talk so much now. Anybody? Well, I'll tell you. I'm a second grade school teacher. No, I'm not. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is not about. I'm an application developer. I've been developing applications for 21 and a half years. Wow. So I know about being the only person that looked like me, the only woman and the only black person. I've traveled quite a bit. So when I get that, back to you what you said about passion. I noticed of doing this for so long. The reason I got into this field, technology field, was because I wanted to be in journalism and broadcasting. That's what I really wanted to go to school for. But I looked at how much they was getting paid, and I'm like, I can't really do that. So I went to who was getting paid the most, which was the technology. That's what kind of how I got caught into it. And I've been doing it for 21 and a half years. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not passionate about it. I'm pretty good out here in these streets though. Y'all need to check out my If you pay your Entergy bill, I was on that team that built out that app, web app. Hibernia Bank before they sold. I also Chase. I worked on their mobile app, so to make sure all your money's secure, I don't know what you got. I just know that I'm the one that when you log in, it said wrong password, right password. Yeah, you got this long, that's me. That's what I do. Wouldn't have never thought that, right? And I don't often tell people that because I kind of like to work and, you know, that, yeah, that's kind of like how I like to work. But I love to do this. I love to kind of be, this is what that's why I light up. This is what I light up. I'm in my butt, okay. Watch the chicken cook. No. One more question. Does anybody have any more questions for the panel? Any questions? We need to get more audience to ask questions.
Because I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, 5 minutes, take it first.
Okay, so some other people may be wanting to answer this question, but what do you do when money is an issue in starting?
That's a great
Financial
question.
person.
When money is an issue and you need the money to start. I often heard someone say your name should be great, and what I mean by that is sometimes when you don't have it, all people have is your name and your credibility, and that goes back to credit. So that if I don't have the money, then I can go get the capital that I need, whether that's in the form of a loan, whether that's from a family member, or going the traditional way of going to get a line of credit at the bank at Chase or something. But I think it's definitely going to start. It's going to start there. It's going to start with the budget. And then to kind of switch gears, another thing that I see in my career, especially working within our community, I think that's one of the things that I know that I want to do differently for my children, is that when they come to me in 20 years and say, hey, Mama, I want to start a business. These are my ideas. This is what I'm thinking about. I want to have the ability to sow a seed in their business. And that is what our counterparts do all the time.
Right.
And I think in our community, we have this thought, especially the older generation. This is my opinion. I struggled, so let them struggle. I don't want my child to be fed from a silver spoon. And I think it's certainly a thin line when you have the financial means to do for your children, but you still want them to go and bump their knees and figure it out themselves. But when I look and when I meet with other clients that don't look like us, they have their uncle that they going to. They have their grandpa that they going to. Their mama gave them this, and I think that is what I want to provide when I meet with people. I want them to have the financial means and the ability to say, hey, if you need $60,000, here.
Right.
Where God guides, He provides. And I think that there are a lot of programs. So Urban League has a program, Capital One has a program specifically for minority women.
Right.
At Urban League, it's called the Women Resource Center. But you have to find those opportunities to sit in those spaces and see what's available to you, because there are things that are available to you
outside of a loan.
Outside of a loan,
right.
Yeah, there are grants, there are programs that incubate businesses. So, and I can share some more of this information offline, but your vision, God has put it inside of you. It will come out and it will happen. So where He guides, He will provide.
Don't be afraid to work.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to do the work.
Yes.
Write it down.
Make it plain.
Make it plain.
Yeah.
Right.
If you got bad credit, we're gonna give you better credit. Like,
And
you
I
have
also-
to start somewhere. I'm sorry.
No, that was
That's what I was
good,
gonna
and
say.
that was definitely good. What you said about if He's giving you the vision, He's gonna provide in that area for you. But what I was going to add was, it's okay to partner up with other people too.
Collaborate.
So if I know that in my industry, if I know that I'm pursuing a client, and I know that first glance they're gonna sign me up, well, let me partner up with my coworker Stacy, who looks like her, because we both have the skill set and the ability, and let's help this person together. It's okay to partner up with other people that may have the resources that you may not have, so that you can reach your goal.
Yep. Yes.
So stop reinventing the wheel. There's some people like
Yes,
connect
not
with somebody.
reinventing.
Stop reinventing the wheel. You know, get with somebody and make it happen. All right, we're gonna close this up. In closing. Yeah, throw problem. I want you all to follow Great Table Talk. It's at GR8 Table Talk. It's right there, bam, on that sign. Follow us on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast, Stitcher, YouTube. I want to also, you gotta give a shameless plug.
I mean, I know.
We have a live He Said, She Said. It's not a conference. It's gonna be more of like a relaxed mixer that we're gonna have coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. And we have this series that's coming up, also called Mommy and Me. So be on the lookout for that. But the He Said, She Said will be an invite. You will be invited. So look out for the tags on Instagram, Facebook, because we want y'all to come out, because it's debating men. We talking about different topics. You know, He Said, She Said. My husband coming, and I want him to get on the mic. He got some stuff to say. But did you all enjoy this lunch and learn? Thank you all so much for tolerating me. Having wonderful one. And if you all want me to sing, I'll meet you over there. I have a table.